A reminder to all our podcast listeners, the Dead Pair podcast is now an affiliate with Negrini Cases. Please visit thedeadpair.com and click on the Negrini link at the top of our webpage to visit their site and see all the great products they offer. Negrini, we case your memories.
Welcome to the Dead Pair podcast with your hosts, Jason Rambo and Sean Alley. We bring you all things sporting clays. Our focus is bringing new shooters to the sport and helping all shooters by giving you the most useful info from coaches, pro shooters, gun clubs, product and service specialists. The Dead Pair podcast, what every shotgun shooter wants to hear.
Paul?
Dead Pair.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Dead Pair podcast. I'm your host, Jason Rambo, and with me, the man that's large and in charge, it's Mr. Alley. What's up, bud?
Oh, doing good, man, doing good. Going to be a nice podcast tonight.
Yeah, you left the door unlocked again. We got people crawling around in the studio here.
We do. We've got two guests in here. We've got Doug Jeanneret and Eric McGrath, both of them with the Kids and Clays organization that benefits the Ronald McDonald House. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Great. How are you guys doing?
Great. Eric, how about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here. We really always enjoy having people in studio.
Yeah, for sure. It's it makes for a good dynamic, you know. Instead of just listening to Sean and I flap our gums every once in a while, it's nice to have guests in studio.
It is, and it just breaks up the monotony, too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get right to it. Doug, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit of your background and how you got started with all of this.
Well, 7 years ago, I was asked to become executive director of Kids and Clays. I'd been in the outdoor industry for about 20 years before then. Had experience in putting on sporting clay events and other outdoor fundraising activities like that. Pretty natural for me to take this job. It was a great opportunity for me to lead a small but really effective national foundation, national nonprofit.
Gotcha. And for those of us who don't know, or for our listeners who don't know, what does Kids and Clays do?
Kids and Clays Foundation was formed in 1999 with the one sole purpose and mission, and that's to help Ronald McDonald House charity chapters raise funds through sporting clay or other shooting events, clay bird events. That's all we do, and we don't support any other charities. There's a ton of good ones out there. We only support Ronald McDonald House charity chapters around the country.
Yeah, and that's a great charity in and of itself. So fantastic stuff.
Well, Eric, you got an interesting background story here with how you got involved with this.
Yeah, so I got involved with Ronald McDonald House charities through a family connection, and then got working with the house itself in any town that I've lived in. Currently, I'm in Akron, so I've been working with the Northeast Ohio chapter. When I moved to Akron, my company that I was working with at the time sponsored the local Kids and Clays event and invited me to be a member and on the team.
Yeah.
And I had never shot a shotgun in my life. And
really?
I'd shot some rifles, handguns, and Boy Scouts way back when I was like maybe 10, 12. Then just kind of sports happened, played soccer,
right.
Played tennis, got away from just Boy Scouts. Go to this event, shoot in the event, and absolutely fell in love. So then I became an active registered shooter 2-3 months after the event. Had a passion. I'm an A-class shooter now. As the house then started learning through the different charity things I was doing at the house of just donations with my kids, they then asked me to become part of the team, and now I'm the chair of the Northeast Ohio event.
Awesome.
Good deal. Good deal.
Tell us a little bit about this event coming up. And so people understand, these events are all over the country, right? So, Doug, first of all, tell the listeners how they can find one of these events. We're going to post it up on our YouTube channel so people can see the schedule for the year. But if somebody's, they forget to go look at YouTube on our channel or whatever, how can they find one of these events?
Well, everybody's going to see it if you post it, right? So, because you guys
I
are
hope
everywhere.
so.
Everybody that matters, yes.
We'd like to think so, but
they can go to kidsandclays.com. Our schedule's easy to find there. It's updated, and you can not only go there, you hit the hyperlink, and it'll take you right to the page. You're at the house, at the Ronald McDonald House chapter, where that event's being sponsored by and held through. So you can go sign up for the event right online if you wish, and move on from there. 30 of them around the country this year.
Wow.
With houses. So.
And to that we had one of our sponsors ask how he could put an event on in his area or help organize an event in his area. So if somebody's interested in something like that, maybe a club or somebody wants to go to their local club and try and talk them into putting on one of these events, how can they go about that?
Best thing to do is you can go through our website and do the, info@kidsandclays.com. There's a link there. You can reach out to us. They can reach out to me directly at doug@kidsandclays.com. Really easy. And I'll give them all the information it takes, how they can host a event in their area, how they can work with the local Ronald McDonald House chapter and help critically ill children and their family locally or around the country, whatever they'd like to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to pump the brakes just for a second and go back and touch on, for the people that aren't familiar with Ronald McDonald House, can you guys tell us a little bit about the organization and what they do for families?
Yeah, so the tagline of Ronald McDonald House is to keep families close. And one of the things that Northeast Ohio talks about is providing families with sick children what they need most, which is each other.
Yes.
Right.
So a lot of the funding for the Ronald McDonald House comes through donors, events, sponsorships like this. Roughly 90% of the house funding comes through that. 10% comes through local operator McDonald's themselves through like the Roundup campaigns, the Shamrock Shakes, things like that.
Right.
But the vast majority of their funding comes through donors and sponsored events like this.
Gotcha.
A lot of people know of the Ronald McDonald House in the sense of the house that provides a family a place to live and stay when their kid is sick. They have a few other arms too, but that's like the biggest piece of their kind of cost and structure. And roughly an actual cost at a night at the Cleveland and Akron facility is about $100 a night. And what they ask of the people that stay is a donation of $20.
Wow.
They've never turned away a single guest if they can't pay. Probably less than half of the people can pay. And there's no income requirements either for someone to qualify to get a place at the house.
Gotcha. And it's so important for people that are going through a tough situation like that. I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Sean and I both have kids, and I just, one of your biggest fears in life is something happening to your kid, right? And then when it does happen, families that are financially not able to, you got something like Ronald McDonald's House Charities that steps up and does something like that. So it's kind of, I don't want to use the word cool, but it's kind of satisfying that we can still go out and shoot sporting clays in an event like this and raise money for something that's for such a good cause.
Yeah, great cause.
It's expensive as a shooter to go to it, but you need to throw that away. You need to get that thought out of your head because of what the money's going to. It's not going to the club to pay for targets. It's going to charity.
Yeah. And I went to an event 3 years ago. I was invited to go through a friend of ours, and I can say that my experience was nothing short of first rate. I mean, they do an absolutely fantastic job organizing the event from what I saw. They had, great food for everybody for lunch. They provide the ammo and everything for your shoot. I mean, again, a lot of fun. You meet a lot of great people, and I mean, I just can't think of any of our listeners not going and having a great time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get to the event.
Absolutely.
Specifically, help us out here, Eric. Tell us about this event that's coming up at Hillendale.
The Hillendale event is called Pulling Together for Kids. It's a Kids and Clays event, but we have a slightly different branding of it for the Northeast Ohio area. It started in 2014, so this is its 7th year. I believe the first year, Ted Bowling had started it up as just an independent. He was a shooter at Hillendale, wanted to do something for the local chapter, just a completely independent event. And then the second year is then when he got in contact with Doug and then kind of merged it into making it a Kids and Clays event to help with the branding, getting some more merchandise, allowing it to kind of start flourishing and getting to be a bigger event.
Gotcha. And one of the things I like at the event is the raffles, the silent auctions and stuff. I mean, wow,
absolutely.
Some of the stuff that's involved with that is really cool.
Yeah, so our event is on October 2nd. You already mentioned it's at Hillendale Club in Medina, Ohio. I'll let Doug kind of talk a little about the Pro-Am style because I think that's run throughout the most of the events across the country. But we have a Pro-Am style for the charity event. It starts at 8 a.m. as a registration, safety orientation kind of go through so that any any new shooter, we pride ourselves, and I think this is also the Kids and Clay's view too, is that you could have never touched a gun in your life. Come to the event, feel comfortable, feel safe, because we have you squatted with a shooter that knows what they're doing, and they'll help coach you, they'll help guide you, they'll help go through safety instruction on the course. But then we start the event at 9, and then we follow it with a lunch. We're going to have a guest speaker that'll talk about her experience with Kids and Clays. It's actually my old neighbor. And then at our event, it's going to be catered by Santa Susos, which is a great Italian restaurant in the Medina area. The owner comes, he prides himself on, he tosses the salad right there. He makes it all fresh ingredients. He doesn't want it pre-prepared. He wants to be kind of there serving and kind of dishing it out. But then we have fundraising options and lots of raffles. We're doing a general merchandise raffle with the shooters, and you can win guns, you can win Browning merchandise. That's a lot of merchandise that the Kids and Clays Foundation provides to us, and then I'm also working through some other avenues to get other things. But I'll hand it over to Doug for a minute just to talk about what they do from a merchandising standpoint and kind of helping with their national donors to help kind of supply Kids and Clays events around, and then I'll talk about some of the other big stuff that we're doing at the Pulling Together for Kids event.
Good deal.
Sure. What's really great about Kids and Clays events, I mean, no matter where you go in the country, there are similarities. They're first-class events, like you say. We want to be at one of the nicest clubs in the area, and just beautiful place. Hill and Dale is all that, and it's ran by a tremendous guy and staff. And we also, though, we have great sponsors around the country, about 42 national sponsors, we call them, who've donated either merchandise or cash because they believe in what we're doing, and inside and outside of the shooting industry. About half our board is made up of the shooting industry. The other half are McDonald's suppliers and people outside. Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper sit on our board. Just a real mixed bag. Wow. But with that, we get a real varied package of merchandise in particular. Like you said, Eric, Browning is a huge supporter of ours. We get a lot of Browning logoed merchandise. We have Winchester logoed merchandise, though, and just a variety of things as you go down from Pelican coolers or gun cases, and just a lot of different great sponsors. Alps is a big sponsor. If you've camped any, Alps camping equipment's great. Camp Chef is also stoves and that. We get just a tremendous amount. It's an outpouring from sponsors, all because they know that the Ronald McDonald House chapter that Eric's working for, leading, they're going to take $1 of merchandise and they'll turn it into $4.
Right.
It's amazing. So we can take that and leverage that. And that's how, like in 2019, we had 26 events that year. They netted $1.9 million. That's net dollars and going right toward families, helping families with critically ill children.
That is really
and that's
huge.
around the country. And you go to a sponsor and tell them that and show them that stat, they just say, what do you need and where should I send it? And not always. It's not quite that easy. But I've been in fundraising for about 30 years. So, But we have great sponsors like that. And down like firearm sponsors, the same thing. I mean, we get lots of guns donated. We buy some guns, but certainly Ruger and Browning and Winchester and Henry and Savage, and just right down the list. These are just SIG arms this year came through in a big way. We get just a tremendous amount of people just say, you know what, we need to give to this because it's helping. We can see what it's helping, and almost everyone either knows someone or is affected by a Ronald McDonald House charity, and it makes it so easy. I mean, it came from another organization that I had to convince people about our mission first and then try to tell them why they needed to help us. This one, I used to get death threats in my last outfit because we did lobbying and things to protect wildlife management, hunting, fishing, trapping. Now I get hugs. And it's just a lot different, I'm telling you. So anyhow.
A lot more rewarding, right?
Yeah, and I could go on, but I want to take it back to Eric. But we're really thrilled to be working with chapters around the country like Eric's, and we see the fruits of our labor. It's real easy for us to send the merchandise to them, the ammo. We provide everything for the shoot that day. Now, one more little story, or I'll do a little anecdote here. No,
please.
If I was a golfer in high school, and I golfed a lot when I was young, and I don't much anymore. It's a great game. But I know I've went to golf outings before, fundraisers, and saw people there that have never played golf. And I don't know how else to describe it, but it sucked for them and everybody else around them. I mean, you cannot go out there and never have swung a club and play in a golf outing, and it usually scrambles. You can come to one of our events at Eric's in Akron or at Hillendale or anywhere, and if you've never shot a gun, if you don't know anything about firearms, or if you're even a little scared of them, if you never shot one, we'll have somebody like Eric says. They're a guy, we call them pro shooters. Sometimes they're safety instructors. We'll have them teamed up with you on a team. We provide loaner shotguns, ear and eye protection, everything you need. We'll give you a great shooter gift. We'll give you all the ammo you need, instruction, a golf cart to ride around in most of the time. And, I mean, we do everything. You can come there and never shot a gun and have a great time and break some birds. You're just not going to get that in a lot of areas. So
Right.
Yeah. So then if I take back over, one of our big pushes is that people walk away with prizes. So we have a lot of merchandise that's provided to us through Kids and Clays. We also then start reaching out, and I've kind of tapped different networks in the Akron area to see what other companies will kind of sponsor and help support. And Kids and Clays provides like roughly $20,000 worth of merchandise to us. So we're then pushing that out so that then there's nothing better than to go out and break a clay. But then also, what's better than to walk home and say, "Hey, I got this gun," or "I got this other."
Right.
So like we've got the raffle auctions, we've got prizes for HOA, HOA men's, HOA ladies. I'm thinking about introducing like a little shoot off, because at Hillendale we've got the South Course and the Woods Course, and last year the Woods Course was a little bit harder. So like making a shoot off so that the person that is on the stiffer course maybe has to like earn it, like or on the easier course gets there.
That's a good idea.
We have a A400 that we're going to be raffling off, so that'll be on our website. That you can buy a $20 ticket for a A400, which is a fantastic gun for new shooters. That's
Absolutely.
what I started shooting that gun, migrated up. Just like most shooters do.
Beretta's another big sponsor of ours nationally.
Yeah, and then a new element this year that I'm also introducing are two different things. I'm introducing an online auction, so you don't even have to attend our event. You can come to our website. You can see some of the things that we're kind of putting as bigger ticket items, and I'm trying to work on some things that might reach more of a more national or broader base. And with that, like I started talking with Sean Spindell at the GM at Hillendale about what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to grow our event, kind of grow the proceeds for the local Northeast Ohio chapters. And for people who aren't aware, Hillendale is a private club with a wait list that's at least 3 years long. Yeah. He's offered a 1-year membership to go into the online auction.
Wow.
Which basically it's for a new member. So he's like, basically it'll allow people to jump the line. So that's going to be up on our site. So again, you don't have to be a shooter at our event. If you want a chance at that membership,
heck yeah,
come on and bid for it. I'm working on some other kind of more national kind of reaching things of trying to get some clay target experiences and things like that. So more to come as I keep developing that angle.
Well, Sean and I spoke, and we wanted to do something. We want to give a dead pair package that can either be raffled or auctioned, however you guys want to do it. And the more we talked about it, it's like, you know what? And I hope the listeners are paying very close attention here. We reached out to our sponsors, and they all stepped up big time. So we have a dead pair package that we're going to donate, and that is going to include some T-shirts and stickers from the dead pair, 2 gift certificates for 2 custom bear pelt vests, a pair of RE Ranger Edge glasses with the 3-lens kit, and a set of their absolutely awesome Marshall sunglasses from Ranger. Also doing a custom shotgun travel case from the Greenie, 2 flats of Game Bore white gold shells, and an Atlas AT-250 trap.
That's amazing, you guys. Thank you so much.
We appreciate what you guys are doing. That's a dead pair package. We're going to put it all together, and you guys, we'll have it physically in hand for you guys here by June. In fact, Ranger already sent. I mean, I talked to her 3 days, Sarah at Ranger. I talked to her 3 days ago, and it was in my mailbox today.
Yeah, our sponsors are fantastic.
I mean, they stepped up. They jumped at the opportunity, and they knew what you guys were doing. They knew what we wanted to do to present a package that you guys could either raffle or auction off, and every one of them, they didn't even hesitate.
Right.
We want to help.
Yeah, they know exactly this is a great cause.
Yeah, and that's a testament to how awesome our sponsors are. So we're going to put that package together for you guys, and Eric, I'll be discussing with you. We'll get it to you physically by June. So
appreciate it very much. The pause in my talking is I had to pick my job off the ground. So, very generous. We appreciate it. I'm excited to market that.
Well, I mean, first of all, they get to wear a Dead Pair shirt. How cool is that, right?
Exactly.
But they got their own personal trap. They got some flats of ammo. They got awesome vests. They got a travel case. I mean, they got really cool shooting glasses.
Quite a bit of everything a shooter needs, to get started in the sport. Or if they're already started, they're going to have lots of more toys,
But a lot of what, and Eric, we had talked just before the show, a lot of what our premise is to bring new shooters into the sport. And I think, Doug, aren't you beginning to track how many new people you bring into the sport by these events?
We are. We're asking that. Again, all of us sign-ups for the houses, the chapters, go through them. And what we've asked them to do is, keep track of by asking, are you a new shooter, inexperienced, or novice, or experienced? That's not great, but we're at least getting, and what we're finding just in the, we did some of this last year with some chapters. I mean, we're finding over half the people that come to our events are either novice or inexperienced. Some of them shoot once a year at that event. They come back every year. So, again, our sponsors love to hear that because they know what that means. I mean, we're introducing new people to the sport.
Right.
It's not a quantified program that we're, like a lot of organizations. But we know we are.
Right.
And, again, a lot of our sponsors know we are. Like I said, the gun company sponsors, even we have, I know you got a trap sponsor. We have Promatic that is, and they're thrilled. They've thrown a lot at us because they said, you guys, we know people are leaving your shoots, and they might go buy a trap machine, or they're looking, to do that. And so they're really enthused about it. And it's really tremendous. I think what we're doing, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, you guys may know who that is. They're the trade association for the gun industry.
Right.
They're one of the first sponsors of Kids and Clays when they started in 1999. They continue today. And they just do tremendous things with us because they said, you guys are adding people to our roles. We know that. And it's really tremendous, though, the support of that. But they recognize it. They want us to quantify it more.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like I said, but we'll get more scientific about it. But yeah, it's a side thing. We're really proud of that. The ammo companies, Federal and Winchester, are huge supporters of ours. One of the reasons they both came on was that reason. Well, maybe Federal came on later. Winchester was here from the beginning. But Federal knows. They just know that we're introducing new shooters. And, I mean, you need ammo to shoot.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
And you've already got ammo reserved for all of the...
Yeah, you don't have enough time to talk about the ammo shortage. I take a call
it
every
comes
day.
up every episode we do.
Yeah,
It's just crazy.
We're on. We try to be on a committee call, and Eric's going to add me to his committee call at some point here. We're on a committee call at least once with these committees to tell them what Kids and Clays are going to provide and to answer questions. And many times we're on a lot of their committee calls. But I get calls from those committees out of the blue almost every day, multiple times a day, saying, are you really going to have ammo for us? We can't find it anywhere. And again, because of Winchester and Federal, unbelievable sponsors, they set back enough ammo. Now, the numbers we've been seeing are through the roof, though, and that worries us some. And so they set back a little more ammo for us as much as they can. But we're going to have ammo for everybody. Lucky you're not the last November, December events that we have.
That's fantastic.
It is.
That's
and
awesome.
It's a credit to those companies. Credit to all these sponsors.
Absolutely.
I mean, your sponsors, what they did. Thank you again. That's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I was quite touched. I sent that email out to all of our sponsors. Some of them replied right away, and some of them called me, and I was floored. I mean, we're asking. You're basically asking for a handout, even though it's going to help charity. You're asking for a handout, and I can't really ask them for anything more than what they're already doing for our show.
But again, it's not a hard sell. It's for kids.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody's got a heart for kids.
Absolutely.
That's just it in a nutshell.
Yep, it's it's a shame because, you know, Sean and I, even on a personal level, would love to do so much more. So we're already kind of, and I don't want to say too much, but we're already kind of scheming for next year. We'd like to really, really up this package, this donation, really up it for next year.
Yep.
So maybe we can work on an HOA prize or something. I don't know, but we're gonna up it. We're gonna do it even better, and we'll work with our sponsors between now and then. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help out too. So
Yeah.
Well, what you're doing is a lot, and if you know people like yourself around the country, we see it all the time, and it's what makes these things fly. I mean, and ours aren't. You know, we recognize high overall and the top team. I'm a big one about you don't give them anything hardly. You know why? Because these are fun events we want people to come to. But I appreciate that too. Some of them do want to give packages for high overall, but we gear these, and Sean does a really good job. We try to get these courses so soft that I want the guys that like Eric, I should say. Eric comes out. I want him to shoot 100. It's okay. I have no problem with that. I want the person that never held a shotgun to break 30 or 40 birds, and they're ecstatic. They cannot believe they go home. And
they can't wipe the smile off their face.
They're still smiling when they drive out, and they're on the phone saying, I got to go buy a shotgun. And we've had that story. I had a father-son in Louisville a couple years ago. They had so much fun. They never shot. We ran out of loaner guns, and I had my own gun. I let the boy use it, and he and his father. They came back and said, hey, tell me where I can go buy a gun and buy one right now for he and I. And we're going to do this again, and who do I talk to about joining? And I took them up, and it was, I mean, doesn't happen all the time, but that's what you're seeing in these events. And a guy went and bought a couple guns. I wish I knew which ones he bought. I'd get a lot more out of those sponsors.
Yeah, no doubt, right? No doubt.
But see, that's why this event is a win-win-win, okay? We're bringing new people into the sport. We're having fun shooting around sporting clays. Right. There's all kinds of, you know, prizes and raffles and, you know, auctions and things. And then the most important part is we're helping out kids and families in need. That's what's cool about it, you know. And it's I just there's no downside to any of this event. So
there isn't.
Well, hey, listen, just got a text. Kevin DeMichiel's ready to come on for questions for the coaches. So let's take a real quick commercial break. We'll come back with Kevin on the questions for the coaches, and then after we speak with Kevin, let's keep going on this. I want to get some more information out to people.
Thank you, guys.
American-made Atlas traps are made right here in Kansas and feature the finest quality, innovation, and support in the business. Atlas traps are made using aircraft-quality aluminum and stainless steel to ensure your traps will outlast the competition.
So whether you're an individual needing a private trap for practice and recreation, or a club needing to outfit your entire facility, family-owned and operated Atlas Traps can suit all your needs.
Visit atlastraps.com to see the full line of commercial and recreational traps and accessories. With prices that won't make you see red and quality that won't leave you feeling blue, Atlas has the finest equipment available.
This episode is sponsored by quality and innovative Game Bore cartridges. Game Bore shot shells are the choice of world champion David Radulovich and 26 times world champion George Digweed MBE. White Gold and Dark Storm contain precision-made diamond shot, manufactured exclusively in England, and coupled with high-performance smooth velocities, providing less felt recoil. If you're serious about your scores, you have to shoot with the best. When every clay counts, make sure you never compromise. Game Bore is the most decorated FETASC and sporting clay shot shells in the sport's history. Available now throughout the U.S., exclusively from KL Ammo. Find them online at www.GameBoreUS.com. Game Bore are simply the champion's choice.
All right, on the phone with us is Mr. Kevin DeMichiel. How you doing this evening, sir?
No, I'm doing great. How are y'all?
We're doing great, Kevin. I hear you're down at the regional right now, aren't you?
I am. It's about 10 till 7 here, and everything's winding down. But it was an awesome day, sunny and 85, and I think everybody's having a good time.
Excellent.
I heard old Dominic down there put on one heck of an event with that Southeast Regional. Man, he's got all kind of cool stuff planned for that.
He really does. He showed out on this. He didn't spare any expense, and man, we got towers everywhere. We got all kind of different targets, and there's probably as many vendors as here as, short of nationals. Any regional I've been to before, there's a lot of vendors, and they got a lot going on. It looks awesome. It looks awesome.
Sean and I are both super jealous. I wish we could be there with you. But
well, you could have stayed at my house if you'd have hollered at me. It's only 10 minutes away,
I don't know if you want us there.
Yeah.
Hey, I know what redneck is. I can handle it.
Okay. All right.
We've been known to raise a little cane every once in a while,
Exactly.
So
I can hang with you on that.
There you go. As long as the beer's cold, isn't that right?
That's right. That's right.
Well, hey, listen, I'm going to get right to these questions for the coaches, which, by the way, we have had a ton of questions. When I put it out there on social media that you were the next coach in rotation, man, the emails and the comments and the questions lit up. So
exploded.
Really appreciate you joining us for this, Kevin. So
absolutely.
The first question is from Scott Graham, and he says, I find myself shooting with one eye, but my scores are consistently improving. What can I do to work on this without affecting my performance?
All right. So basically we got to understand a couple of things here. We got to understand what his eye dominance really is. Okay. If he's a right-handed shooter and he's right eye dominant, he's closing an eye, he's holding himself back. All right. That's the first thing we got to establish is why he's closing the eye. Okay. Now, the other thing is, how old is this guy? How long has he been shooting? That sort of thing. If it's an older gentleman, I wouldn't suggest swapping hands if it's the other eye that's dominant. If somebody younger, you might want to look into that. But, okay, I like to base everything, and I've always done this. I like to base everything on the top 20 or 30 shooters in the country. All right. And I've always paid attention to what they do. And I can promise you, out of that top 20 or 30, none of them would shoot with one eye. Okay, so if I had to tell this guy something, it would be this. All right, we're going to have to figure out how to shoot with both eyes open. And if that involves putting a little bit of chapstick, if it's the other eye that's dominant, or a little dot, or this, that, and the other, at least he's not cutting half his vision off when he's seeing the bird come to the whole point. At least he's being able to keep that eye open and see a little blur of it and help himself to connect to it. But if you try to shoot with just one eye, you're going to go a little ways, okay, and then all of a sudden you're going to flatten off, and then that's going to be the end of it. That's going to be the end of it. You want to know why you hadn't gotten any better.
I haven't talked to Scott directly about this, but I can tell you that he has an extremely strong pistol and rifle background. He was a 3-gun guy forever, so I think that might be a little bit why he's doing that.
Yeah, so I've worked with a bunch of people that come from rifle and pistol. And the first thing you got to break from them is obviously you got to tell them, look, this is a pointing game, not an aiming game. Okay. And, they're so used to being so accurate and really, aiming and closing that eye. That's the first thing you got to break from them. You got to be like, all right, look, we're going to have to open both eyes. We're going to have to see the bird because, if you're a right eye shooter, everything from the left is going to be tough. A lot of people that come from a pistol rifle background will close an eye, and they're more aiming at the bird than they are actually pointing at the bird. So, and here's what happens, okay? So you get a guy like that says he's been getting better, okay?
Right.
And you tell him, look, all right, we're going to have to start learning to shoot with both eyes open, or at least, if that eye's a problem, we'll put a dot on it, this, that, and the other. Well, a lot of times to make a big step forward, you got to make a little step back to get there. And people got to understand that that's all right. All right. It's, it's not like he's going to open both eyes and kill every bird. All right. He may not be great for a little bit, but I promise you in the long run, both eyes open is the name of the game. You have to. You have to. Unless, and I run into guys that are wing shooters that are 60, 70 years old, and they've always shot with one eye, and they just want to be able to kill a few more birds. And I'm not trying to change them. I'm not trying to change that. But if I get a sporting clay shooter that wants to be better, that's the first thing I'm going to try to do is get them to open both eyes and figure out how we can make it work.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, Kevin, next question, if I can move right on here. This is from Guido Adderson, and his question's kind of long, so hang with me here. He says, my understanding is that a flinch is visual and different than recoil anticipation. Basically, it's a disconnection from the target, and our eyes are going from barrel awareness to barrel fixation, i.e. barrel, bird, barrel. As such, it's one step beyond barrel checking and causes a much more visible reaction to shooters around us. Do you believe a high rib can exacerbate the flinch on close, fast crossing birds? And why did you go from a high rib to a flat rib shotgun?
All right. Well, let me answer that question first. Why did I go from a high rib to a flat rib? Okay. So basically, it's like this. All right. We've got a triangle to the target from your eye, your barrel to the bird, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the higher that is apart from your barrel to your eye, the harder it is to connect to that bird. Okay. So the reason I changed is I felt like my mount wasn't very consistent. I had my head really high off the gun, which made my triangle to the bird a lot bigger. And a lot of times, like, I was pretty good on crossing stuff, but like floaters and stuff like that, I had a whole lot in my way. And plus the triangle from my eye to the barrel was a lot bigger. Okay. Now that I'm closer to the gun, I feel like I can really connect to those hanging birds out there, and the triangle's a lot smaller, and you know, the connection is way better. Now, as far as the flinch goes, okay, so I like to break this up in a couple of things. All right, number one, a flinch can be taking your eye off the target, okay, taking your eye off the bird, or barrel checking if you want to call that. All right. Now, this is going to sound funny, but I'm gonna say this anyway. Okay, so yes, you don't want to barrel check. All right, especially when you're teaching somebody to begin with, you don't want to barrel check. But believe me, these guys that shoot really well, they can check it. Okay, but that's extremely advanced. All right, extremely advanced. Like I would say, these people that the Matarises and Keenbaums and Corey Cruz and all that kind of stuff, they see a pretty good bit of barrel. All right. They see a pretty good barrel. You just have to know how to do that. And that comes from a lot of shooting and a lot of experience.
Gotcha.
Okay. A lot of it. But, okay. So that's one thing, taking your eye off the bird. Now, the other thing, if he's missing close stuff, he may be setting up too high and he's blocking the line with the barrels. Okay. He may need to start off a little bit lower. All right. So, obstructing the line. Now, the third thing, okay, is what I like to call a straight up flincher. All right. This guy is so anxious he can't help himself. All right. He's got, it's the truth. The guy is so amped up and he's so nervous that his brain is second guessing everything. And that's one of the hardest ones to fix. Okay. A lot of times they have to go to release trigger, or you've got to feed them information, how to calm themselves down and really tone it down a little bit. And it's probably one of those three things. Okay. Gotcha. I don't think that going from a high rib to a low rib, as far as he was talking about shooting close stuff, I don't think it's going to make a ton of difference. Okay. I don't think it's going to make a ton of difference. Yeah.
Good deal.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, we greatly appreciate this, man, and you gotta be real careful offering Sean and I a place to crash next to the Meadows, because we might just invade your house.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Well, come on, let's do it. Come on.
I tell you what, the year's still fresh. We might just take you up on that. So
yeah. All right, holler at me.
That'd be pretty cool. Maybe we get a hold of Dom and the four of us get together. We'll put together a podcast while we're down there. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be great. We'd have a good time. That'd be great.
Well, Kevin, listen, man, I hope you shoot to your ability, because I know you'll end up on top this weekend. Give them hell, buddy.
I appreciate it, y'all. Thanks, man.
Good luck, Kevin. Take care.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Thank y'all. Bye.
RE Ranger, you can't hit what you can't see. With 14 clay sight lenses manufactured by Carl Zeiss Vision, Ranger lenses add target clarity and contrast no matter the lighting condition. Visit RERanger.com for all your shooting eyewear needs. Free shipping and returns in the U.S. on orders of $90 or more. And if you use the code DEADPAIR at checkout, you will save 10% off your order. See it further, see it faster, see it with precision with RE Ranger.
Man, it's awesome catching up with Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm jealous he's down there shooting.
I am too.
Wish we were there.
Daggone him. Knowing him, he's probably going fishing yet tonight. So
probably.
I'm
probably.
Jealous. Yeah. So, well, Doug, let's start back with you again. How can people find an event in their area? I mean, people listen to this thing worldwide, but nationwide, how can they find an event in their area?
Best thing I can tell them to do is go to our website, kidsandclays.com, and click on events, and every one of the events we're involved with has a hyperlink. You can go, it'll take you right to that Ronald McDonald House chapter website, and there you can sign up for the event, learn more about it, and if they're having an auction or anything online, which with the pandemic, that happened a lot, and a lot more people are doing that, they can even sign up for an auction if they can't make the event, or there'll be a place they can make a donation to that house or to that event. Ronald McDonald House Charities chapters, it's the best cause in the world. And I've been around nonprofits for, this will be my, I'm not going to tell you how many decades I've been doing this. I've been around a long time, and this is the most pure charity there is, and I've been involved with a lot of them. There's a lot of great charities out there, species charities, everything else. This one's so pure. I know if I give them $1, they're going to turn it in more to $1, and it's going to help families in need. And the last thing I'll say about that is why I just hope everybody, all your listeners, will consider, if they can't make an event, make a donation to that local event, is that when families are near their children, when the children are sick, and these are critically ill children for the most part, if their families are near them, like can see them every day, and that the kids heal like 35% better, faster. They heal more. It's just simply, it's common sense, but they've got that down to a science, and that's what houses really do. They provide a home away from home and keep families together at a time when they need it the most. And I know that's an old tagline they're not supposed to use, but it's a truth. I mean, these people some of them are driving hours away, and they can't stay at a hotel. They can't afford it. That's what coming to an event, a sporting clay event with the Ronald McDonald House chapter, like Eric's, that's what you're doing. You're helping families in need. And our founder says this. He said, hope you never need a house, but God bless them when you do, because they're going to be there for you. So,
absolutely. And for all of our listeners out there, I got a list here from Doug. I mean, again, these events are nationwide. Kids and Clays, I mean, we're talking events in Florida. We're talking Virginia, California, Ohio, Missouri, New York, Texas. I mean, the list goes on and on. North Carolina, New England, Georgia. I mean, there's probably an event that you guys can go to. Maybe not one in every state, but there's plenty of opportunities out there to attend one of these events.
Yep, absolutely. Eric, what do you think, man? You had mentioned something to me about, people can get a hold of you directly as far as this event's concerned. Any questions or concerns or anything?
Yeah, so first, thanks again for hosting us in this. It really helps broadcast the message, not just for my personal event, but for all the other.
Our pleasure and our privilege.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. No doubt.
But, yeah, people can reach me directly. If you got any questions on how you can support the Pulling Together for Kids event in Northeast Ohio, my cell phone is 937-572-9796. My email is Eric, ERIC, .McGrath, MCGRATH, 05 @gmail.com. You can also go to our website, which is PTFK 2021 for 2021 .givesmart.com or rmhcneo.org/events. So that's the Ronald McDonald House of Northeast Ohio, and that'll have all of our events and listed in that with a link. How you can help, you can be a sponsor. You can bid on some of our online auction items, and that'll start becoming more robust through the summer. Our event is in October, so I'm currently working on the packages, and I'm trying to kind of reach out and make some bigger splash tickets. So like we've already got the Hillendale piece. We've got your guys' awesome donation. I'm working on a couple other things behind the scenes right now too. So, keep coming back. You can check out the site. One thing I forgot to mention is I'm introducing a peer-to-peer fundraising function on our site. So as squads sign up, they'll have an opportunity to basically fundraise for our event. So if I'm a shooter in the event, I'll have my own personal page attached to our website that then I can send that out to my friends, my family, and have them donate in. And I'm going to have we'll have prizes for the top fundraiser, the top squad fundraising.
Oh wow!
So like that's another opportunity. So like any of our listeners here, you can come back on, and again, like probably June, July is when the squads will really start kind of getting much more robust and filling up. We've got 32 available, and you can like pick the most fun name of a squad and say, oh, I love this name, so I'm gonna donate $20. I'm gonna do $5. Like we'll take anything, It's whatever you can afford. It goes to a good cause.
Yep.
those are all kinds of different ways. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. I'll be at the Northeast Regional shooting.
Oh, cool.
So you can text me and we can figure out a time to meet up and kind of talk face to face there.
Awesome.
There you go.
Just a kind of a call out for Northeast Ohio, just as podcast listeners or maybe from different areas of the country. We've got a house in Cleveland and we've got a house in Akron, and we within our region, we're not just limited to servicing families and even just the Cleveland Akron area. Like we service 64 of the, I think it's 82 counties in Ohio. I forget how many counties. 43 states in 2019 came and were housed in one of the Cleveland or Akron houses.
Wow.
If you think about Cleveland Clinic, it services a very broad range.
Yes.
And then we even had 14 different countries.
Wow.
So it's like, don't just think for our event that, well, if I'm not living in the Northeast Ohio area, it's not necessarily benefiting me. It could, you never know.
Right.
But in that same vein, I implore you to kind of talk to your local houses, see how you can help, kind of see what they need, because they'll always take donations.
Right.
We encourage our daughters on their birthdays. Their friends bring blankets and stuffed animals instead of gifts.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
My kids don't need any more toys, so so then they're 4 and 2, and they're being taught then that they go and donate those to the house. So just like little things like that you can just try to figure out ways that you can support locally.
Right. That's very cool. That's
Absolutely.
very cool. I challenge our listeners.
Yeah.
Step up.
Yeah, listen up, guys, and hopefully you guys can go out and maybe attend one of these events, or at least, at the very least, support one of them online through one of the auctions or one of the charities or one of the giveaways, and donate some of your time or resources to them to help out the kids.
Yeah, and from Sean and I both, a very heartfelt thank you to our sponsors, Game Boar, Negrini, Artie Ranger, Atlas, Bear Pelt. Thank you all very much for helping us put together this Dead Pair package.
Yeah, they stepped up in a major, huge way.
Yeah.
So
we appreciate it very much. And thank you to both of you for joining us in studio. I hope that we are in some small way helping out with all this, and that we're kind of doing our part, Sean and I are doing this podcast as a labor of love, but at least we feel like we're helping out in some way, shape, or form. So
You are, guys. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be on tonight. We really, really appreciate it. So.
No, it was a pleasure having both of you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Thanks a bunch. All right, everyone, get out there, go shooting, take a friend with you, and I challenge you, step up, support Kids in Clays. You got the website, you got phone numbers here. There's all kinds of ways you can reach out and help. I challenge you to do it. Until next week, we'll see you next time on the Dead Pair Podcast.